What in the Cirque du Soleil is going on with the Amazing Digital Circus? The new internet cartoon made by Glitch Productions has broken the internet, with the pilot reaching already 315 million views and episode 2 is already past 50 million. And even just the premise of the show is susceptible to a bunch of bizarre theories because there's a huge mystery of what is even going on.
Oh no! Someone's venturing out into the void!
So if you haven't watched it, now's the time. This is when spoilers will be going on. Let's get some theories about the premise out of the way early. One of the mysteries is, what is this place, and who are these people, and how did they get here, and what is the difference between real players and NPCs? It appears to be a game or a virtual world that's in development. The players of this game, or the people in this virtual world, could be like beta testers or the creators of the game themselves. That's my initial guess, but even that might not be right. The true premise of the show as we know it right now is there's this character Pomni who just kind of materialized into this world and lost her memories of who she was before she came into the world.
What the is going on?
And this world is the Amazing Digital Circus, headed by this strange ringleader Kane. Anything beyond that at this point is just a theory.
A film theory.
R.I.P. MatPat. Retire in peace, I mean. He's not dead. And honestly, based on this recent video I saw of them covering this, he's not even actually really retired. We don't know much so far, so the amount of speculation that can be done at this point is intense. Is maybe some evil company developing this game for nefarious means? Was it created innocently enough, but it's taken on a life of its own, and these players are trapped in the game with NPCs who are gaining sentient consciousness? And what the hell is Kane's deal?
We don't venture out into the void. Not even I know what's out there.
Let's get into some of the more interesting theories that I've come up with myself and found perusing the internet. Since I made a MatPat joke, I feel like I should probably talk about the theory that has come from his accumulation of internet coverage that I think is worth talking about. I think most of them are just fun content and probably aren't very correct, but the one that I found very compelling is that this entire thing is a computer consciousness simulation and there aren't even people playing the game.
In short, the series is gaslighting us. It isn't about a bunch of humans trapped in a simulation, it's about a bunch of human consciousnesses that have been scanned into an AI system and then mapped onto blank mannequin bodies.
Where these characters were cloned from the players who wore the VR headsets, but they're not actually actively wearing them and trapped in the game right now. The evidence being that we see the VR headset next to a computer where it seems like, based on the end of the pilot, this simulation is coming from. But in that shot, nobody's in the chair, like slumped over and clearly trapped. I like this because it makes what seems to be the overarching themes of the series a lot more compelling. Could these players be teaching Kane and the other NPCs to have living consciousness? Is the AI working like an LLM, or learning language model, think ChatGPT, but to a crazy degree, to understand and replicate human consciousness? And maybe these games that Kane is having the players do are actually tools for the NPCs to learn how to evolve.
I'm testing out a new AI in this one! It should be 57 times more immersive!
It's very compelling, but if that was the case, then why would Kane have blooped the one NPC that seemed to start realizing things away? Like, why? Why, Kane? How f***ing could you?
If I start losing track of who's a human and who's an NPC, who knows what could happen?
I drew such an emotional attachment in such a short period of time. Anyway, there might be something to this theory, but I don't think it's spot on, so let's go on to another one. Pomni is the only player. I considered this after the pilot, but I didn't really play with it until after the tragic ending of episode 2.
Hey, you at least want to join us for Kaufmo's funeral?
All around me are familiar faces.
This strongly hammers in the theme that AI is gaining some sort of sentience and actually learning from people. And with AI rapidly developing in the world today, it's gonna force us as the audience to ask the question, can it be so good that in a way we have created a complex system of life itself? Kind of like what we are. What if this is an intensely immersive AI game that's actually single player?
Pomni's not even here? Wasn't this whole thing for her?
Be quiet. I can't hear the escalator.
This moment where an NPC is deleted might actually be foreshadowing a potential fate to all of the characters that we've been introduced to. Maybe extracted characters are the ones that got too alive for the developers to feel comfortable or safe having there, so they get rid of them.
And into the cellar you go!
How possible is this realistically? I think maybe not very, but that's also why I still kind of like the theory. What a mind would it be, and how thematically relevant would it be for all of these characters that we've been making connections with and assuming they're human players to actually be revealed as AI? It'd be a great misdirection and great commentary on what it actually means to be alive. And a related side theory, even if Pomni is not the only player and there are other players, what if winning is actually abstracting? It seems like Kaufmo the Clown started figuring out what was going on, and that drove them insane and led them to abstracting. We've also seen evidence that maybe a bunch of other characters also extracted by seeing their pictures X'd out on the doors in the hallway in the pilot. Maybe it's like a big digital escape room, and once you figure out how to leave, that's the abstraction and you freed your mind, and then you end up leaving the game.
Someone's venturing out into the void! They'll get totally spoiled!
Maybe this is the case, and then once leaving the game, there might be more story to uncover once we're actually outside of the circus itself. And before I get too into the heady weeds of what kind of possibilities there are for this show, I want to talk about Jax.
I'm so unbelievably disappointed right now.
What if Jax isn't just a player, but he's actually a head, or maybe even the head developer, pretending to be a player like everyone else? In the scenario, they'd be fully aware of what's going on and how it all works. Maybe he's not actually trapped at all and he's there for some sick entertainment.
Our kingdom will once again thrive. I'm sure it was no easy task.
You have no idea.
Maybe he's the head villain who trapped everyone else there for fun. He has keys to the other characters' rooms.
Oh, you must be some kind of master of unlocking things.
That's me.
Finds some sick enjoyment in the dangers of things going on, and seems oddly chill with everything existing the way that it is when none of the other characters have that level of chill. He's even seen bullying other characters and pushing their buttons a little bit, maybe even pushing them to abstract. Okay, and even if he's not a head developer, I do think he might be turning into the main villain. What if he's actually an NPC, kind of like Gummy Goo, who realized what was going on but slipped through the cracks and Kane didn't catch him? This created bitterness for him for any of the quote-unquote player characters, because he knows he was originally an NPC, so he wants to mess with them and push their buttons and force them to abstract because he wants to see them ruined. I really like this theory because it gives him a great villain motivation, which any great villain needs a really good motivation. And it also plays with those themes of AI consciousness and all that kinds of stuff. But enough about the creepy humanoid bunny that for some reason is in a long list of creepy humanoid bunnies. Let's talk about Kane.
Do you like adventure? Activity? Wonder? Danger? Horror? Pain? Suffering? Agony? Death? Disease? Death? Angel food cake?
I really don't know where to start with him. He's throwing me off hardcore. He's been depicted as a god in this world.
You must be the brave knight sent to us by God to help us with our recent catastrophe.
That definitely is not insignificant, and it leads me to two possibilities. One, he's the head AI that's responsible for creating the digital circus for the world of the players. Or two, he's the head game developer / creator with a crazy god complex.
And you know how I never like letting people see my unfinished work.
The first one's pretty simple, and I feel like that's the reality that's being hinted at so far. But the second one leads me to another interesting theory. What if he's a head developer that actually got himself stuck in the game and is going crazy with power?
We stay right here, where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
Maybe he lost his own memory upon entering the game and developed this god complex because he was given admin powers but wasn't really instructed with why. And then all these other players are being sent in to try to rescue him or maybe stop him at any cost. I would make a super intense plot line, and I would love to see that play out. So I like that theory, and I think it is possible. A side note on Kane is the whole Kane and Abel story is something that I think people will be pointing to. And though I don't personally know very much about it, what I do know is that Kane and Abel are the first children of Adam and Eve, and then like one of them killed the other or something like that. But I don't think that's actually going to play into this very much. What it might be hinting at though is that Kane wasn't actually created by the creator of the game. Maybe the game itself created Kane, and that Kane himself is actually the first NPC to gain human consciousness. I definitely like this, and it would be really unsettling. But pretty much anything's interesting and unsettling with Kane, so I'll leave that there.
You're probably just experiencing digital hallucinations!
Okay, enough about life theories. Let's go to a
Death one.
Who will be the next to abstract? This was brought up in the comments, and I want to start talking about who I think it might be. King was suggested as the obvious culprit, but I think he's too obvious and is distracting us from who's actually going to go next. Plus, I feel like King is getting some very interesting subtle character development, and I'd be sad to see him go. Will it be Jax or Ragatha? Probably not. They seem like they're way too main of characters and are developing their own emotional stories. But I mean, that might be something to throw you off too. Now, someone said in a comment that Jax usually bullies Gangle, and that maybe he'll push too far, which will lead to it.
Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
I really like this theory because when we see Kaufmo abstract, Jax just walks into the room pretty uncaring of his condition and the meltdown happening in front of him and takes something for himself. This might be hinting that he actually was slowly bullying and poking at the clown too, and foreshadowing that actually Gangle is next. This would also lead really well into the Jax is an NPC villain theory, and kind of hints at how he's treating Pomni, thinking Pomni might be the next victim. So for now, I'm locking in my guess on Gangle, but let me know in the comments what you think. And while you're down there, like the video, like the video, like the video, like the video. Did you like the video yet? You know what I would do if I were you? Or if anyone were you? If you weren't an NPC in this world, I would like the video. Oh, and I guess subscribing helps. Probably. Maybe it even doesn't. Only subscribe if you actually want to watch my videos. But definitely like the video. Alright, my last theory for this video, which is kind of based on the nature of the show, is I don't think this is going to be a very long series. I know this is a huge hit right now and all of us love it, but the way that this show is set up is very much based on the mystery element. Once we know what's going on, it's pretty much going to be a mission to complete whatever it is that we need to finish from learning that. This whole world is too small to have like a super huge expansive universe the way that like Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss are doing. It wasn't really set up to do anything but tell the story that it kind of set out to tell. And honestly, I think that's wonderful. Yeah, get your content addict minds out of here. Oh, we want more. We liked it one time, so
Give it to us until it sucks.
I want it to be good until we literally can't be good anymore. I want to see Star Wars 1.5 million times. I want to see every single Pixar movie. We're done. Stop it. Stop it. Just sell it to Disney if you want that. I, for one, think that this would actually be a lovely, beautiful story that talks about AI consciousness and what it means to be alive and like existential philosophy that has an extremely thrilling and mystery-based story with a beginning and an end, and it satisfies itself that way. It doesn't feel like it needs to be anymore. Just like what Gravity Falls did. It takes place in one summer, and that's the summer it needed to. We don't need more than that. I know a lot of you disagree because most people want more of the thing. I used to be a drug addict, I definitely understand. But with something this cool and mysterious and amazing, I would not mind it just being a gem of the time. I mean, we are in maybe a golden age of indie animation right now, and that's gonna end. Things end, you know? That's how art works. There are moments in time. I'm thinking about doing a whole video about the different eras of animation. You can't make a Fairly Odd Parents style show anymore. It won't do well. This is fresh and new and brilliant. And I would almost love to see it end before it stops being that. Because ask yourself, audience, once we know what's going on, and once the mystery of who's Pomni, who are these characters, and what's going on is solved, what else is there for the show? It would almost have to be the way that Kane is trying to make it with these, you know, seemingly meaningless daily adventures. And one last potential super far out there theory to close it out, what if that is how it ends? What if Pomni and everybody do realize that this is the new nature of their reality, or they're a clone, or they're stuck in the game, or whatever, and then they realize that their life is going to just be doing a new Kane-inspired thing every day?
Day after 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 day.
And that is the solemn note it ends on, just the existential reality of this is life now, and you need to deal with it and love and accept your life for what it is. Because that's how our lives are! We don't have limitless possibilities. You have to f***ing wake up and go to work or school or whatever tomorrow. You'll have highs and lows, and then you have norms where it's just gonna happen until you die. And that would make so much sense for the philosophy of what this is trying to say. God, I really like this show. I think this gets a lot of interesting conversation about things going on, and I want to know what you think. Tell me in the comments what you thought of these theories, which ones do you think make the most sense? Let me know yours that I didn't cover, and I'll see you next time. Peace. And when I say peace, I really mean it.